This is a front roller off of a Toro 4500D or 3500 or 4300, etc. I'm going to take the left bracket and put it in this right hand slot. With the bottom leg pointed to the left, slide it to the end, then bring it back about ½ inch or so. Lock it down. Stand the roller up here. Bring the right hand bracket with the bottom leg pointing to the right. Slide it up, touch the roller, bring it back about ½ inch, maybe 3/8, something like that. Lock it down. I want to be able to flip this roller around and get it in there without having to move this bracket, so I need a little bit more room here. That way, once I get everything set up, I don't have to move these brackets, and I can do several of these rollers quickly. Alright, if the bearing is still intact, I'm going to use this bearing puller right here. Gonna insert it, then push the pin in. And I need my puller bridge. And then the standoffs, the jacking screw, my 15mm wrench out here to keep the jacking screw from turning. Okay, the bearing is out. If that bearing was not intact, if it had fallen apart, you'll use the 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 inch puller collet, and you will expand it so that the feet of this collet will expand inside the groove where the balls of this bearing were riding, and everything else is exactly the same. You'll pull that outer race out like that. To install the new bearings, let me back up a little bit. If this puller that we used if you have a hard time getting this shaft pushed in all the way, it probably means that these feet are trying to press up against the inside of the spacer that's in between the bearings, and there's too much rust and crud. So if that happens, take a little Allen wrench and get in there and try to scrape some of that rust and crud away from the inside of that spacer. That'll allow you to expand this puller. To put the new bearing in, there's two ways that I do that. I could take one of these inserts, put the roller on top of it, and drive the bearing in. I could also press that bearing in. To do that, we'll slip the bearing in here. You could use the bolt that came out of this roller in conjunction with this installation tool. Slide it through, and then you will just need an adapter. I've got one here. Screw onto the end of the bolt. Actually, this is it. I don't have the proper one, so I've got a homemade adapter here. But these are the only two components that you'll need to press one of these bearings in, is this adapter and this installation tool here. Screw the jacking screw into that adapter. And then get it halfway lined up here. Drop the standoff in. Once you get the first bearing in, don't forget to put the spacer in the middle. Okay, that's all the way in. That's all there is to that roller. Anybody could knock. Well, I guess there are 10 of these on each 4500, and you could get anybody knock out 10 of those in no time.